thank you for having us. AI Adverse, the AI Adventurer. Where do you think you sit? It's also runs to the subtitle of from AI Overwhelm. You're probably feeling that right now. Check a paper. Between the sports and the politics is probably AI, so other than that, you're out. But how do we move from AI overwhelm to AI opportunity? Hopefully, we'll help get you there. Here's the rundown, very quickly. Who the hell are we? What's the landscape? We actually asked through the MadFest newsletters for people to enter into an AI audit to make this as relevant as possible. So thank you for those that did. And if those that don't, there's a QR code at the end, so then you can retrospectively. So we'll give you those results, and then there's a very big reveal.
Very big reveal indeed.
Very big reveal.
I'm not a big fan of doing the old creds up front, but unless you actually know either of us, you're probably going, who the hell are Plane? So, just a very quick overview as to who we are. We provide plain-speaking, AI-agnostic, sprint-style kind of education and advisory and consultancy. And it's focused about really maximising creative efficiency. We do it as non-techies. So we are not tech people, we're not bamboozling with words. We are two people that, we do look young, I know, but we spent our careers helping brands, agencies grow, create impact, basically. So we're coming at it in your language, basically. As it says, our mission is to make it plain. This is always our starting point here. But we know that not everybody's an AI evangelist. And as Becky's alluded to, at some point, you're going to be either an AI adverse or AI adventurer. And we've kind of narrowed it down to really 5 buckets that people can sit in. And this is really what we want to talk about today.
Right. This date mean anyone to anyone at all, because basically I'm going to say we weren't always AI evangelists. I'm an ECD, but don't tell anyone. I'm particularly a pro-AI ECD. Heavens, that will get controversial. But so this date, does it mean anything to anyone in this room? Come on, shout out. If you're in the talk before, you'll have heard something. It's actually Midjourney, but ChatGPT was in November. But basically, this was the date, I think, changed from me from a sort of an AI theoretical appreciative person of going, I've even got exams in this stuff. So I was doing it theoretically. And then this happened, Midjourney was released, and everything went potty. The world went bonkers. It was in your socials, it was in your newspapers, in my agencies, it was coming up in team meetings, it's being discussed at business level. So suddenly it was on the agenda. Everyone was playing around with it because it was new. So there was zero sort of risk in we were all new, we were all learning. And so that's really when I started to roll up my sleeves and get involved too as a practitioner. But I started to get annoyed, and if you do know me, then you'll know that actually things can get irritating. And what really made me jump on the AI rocket ship was all of the AI versus creativity conversation, because all of the chatter was focused on this bit, the creative production. And all of it was basically going, AI is going to take your jobs, creatives, it's going to do what you can do, only faster and less well-dressed. When actually, what my real point, and the reason I got involved, was the real gains is what happens up front. The creative production cycle is the end bit of what you've decided on. It's the dressing of what all that messaging, all that strategy, as we've heard from the Brave Bison people, everything that went in before, that just ends up in the production. And that's actually where real gains can be made, is that 80% up front. And particularly in industries such as Adland and marketing, where you're on billable hours. So the only game you can win on is time. And this is where we break the fight between conception and actually creating the idea and actually then dressing it up in creative production. So that fueled me to ask the silly questions, to get involved in AI communities and get on board. What we've done over the last 4 weeks,
something like that, I think.
Something like that.
Yeah.
Seems like 7 years, but it's fine. Was we asked you to get involved in order to, as I said, to make this as relevant as possible, and we sent out an audit for you. And that's what we'll go through. What I'm going to lay down first is what does the AI landscape look like? Now, we've built this AI maturity model off Gartner's work, and I'm going to step you through it first, because that was what the audit was based upon, and then I'll hand over to my lovely Debbie McGee in order to take you through the results So many people won't get that reference, but that's fine. So I'm now countering the age thing, by the way. Yes. Yeah. So we'll move from pre to enhance, so AI averse to AI adventurers, and see the difference. And the whole point of this is it gives you tasks, strategies, and meaningful step changes that you know where, A, know where you are on this landscape, but B, know what you need to be doing to move upwards. So we've got these 5 stages. These are just the pre-descriptors. Those that are eagle-eyed will notice they handily spell out plain. Creative endorsement up there. So yes, basically I'll step you through. The first stage is pre-adoption phase. We've broken this thinking down, as I said, into people, processes, IT, and data. Basically, they are the main areas that you will notice change as AI moves up within the enterprise or business. So pre-adoption phase, it's probably what most people are doing. I won't give away the answer yet. Because everybody is reading, everybody is aware that AI is out there, or hopefully most people are aware AI is out there. But there's no real interest in adoption yet. It's probably you're in that overwhelm camp of going, oh my God, I don't even know where to start because look, now there's another new thing happening over here. So that's sort of the stage with the people. In the processes, basically it's all set up for the business you're doing. Obviously, you're running a successful business or you're running a team. And so basically the process is there. What they're set up to do is to keep that business running effectively in the processes that you've already got set. There's no governance because you haven't got any AI, so you don't need AI governance. And then the IT and data, basically you're collecting the data that you need in order to do the job that you're doing. But there's nothing above and beyond that in the intelligence of the data gathering. There's your usual IT and there's no AI. We step it up into the next one that we call Lone Rangers or Lone Riders. Or Lone Raiders, depending on which page of the presentation you'll notice. So we move up here, and basically this is also where you might find lots of people. There's individual interest in AI. You've got people who have dived in. They're basically rolling their sleeves up and utilizing it on tasks they deem are right for using AI. What is not happening here is it's not in team awareness. So this is happening quite a lot. And basically, you'll then get a split between these two groups of those who are sort of, oh, well, I'm hearing that Sarah, she's already using AI in that job. Now, I don't even know where to start, so I'm going to pull back, and she's going to move forward. Anyway, so this is individuals. There's early stage AI discussions because these individuals are energized about AI. So they'll be bringing their learnings and trying to teach people or help people into how it can be adopted. There's no governance because the team doesn't actually really know that the AI is going on. There might be some data collection, but it'll be haphazard because it's being done by the individuals, not by the team, and certainly not by the enterprise. And then finally, there's basic analytics. Those are the AI enthusiasts that are sort of aware enough will be wanting to see whether what they're doing is making any difference or whether it's just a bit of fun in between asking chat to decide what cocktail they're making. Now we've gone from nothing at all sort of aware to individual to now we're up into team level training. So we're up into adoption level. We say it's team level training but that might be trained by the AI individuals from the stage before. The enterprise or the business is now aware that AI is being used within the system, but it's not doing the training itself. It's still coming from ground upwards. And because of that, there's other things that fall through. So hopefully the team has had a look as a team at suitable tasks and processes to apply AI to. And then that would obviously, you need to know the how or you need to know the why before you can get to the what and the how. So the strategy is alignment in order to identify those tasks. There's still no governance because we're at team level. We're not actually at business level yet. There'll be some structured data and analytics going on, and the dedicated team might be just the individuals, as I said from before, who are now energized enough that they are the sort of evangelists within the business agency or enterprise. The next phase that we move up into is instruct level, instruct and implement. This is, again, we've moved from team, now the business knows about it. So now we've switched from ground up to top down. So enterprise level training by a dedicated AI team, that means that is people paid purely to do AI, as opposed to people who are excited about AI whose day jobs require something else. It's integrated now into one or more processes, and that's basically because you've got the learnings that then can see similar or mirror situations where the application of AI can be similarly utilized. We're ongoing monitoring because the business is aware now, so you've got to be aware. There's governance, we're gathering the data, and the analytics. Then the final phase is enhance, and this is closing that circle. So basically, not only are you using bespoke solutions, you're then building on those bespoke solutions because you're continually learning and training. So that moves you from AI averse to AI adventurers within this system. Do you want to do it?
The results are in. So I'm going to actually flip back to this slide first. So as Becky said, we've put it out there, put it to you, the MadFest audience, but we've also done is we put it to a non-MadFest audience, so we can have a bit of compare and contrast. But before I talk about that, I'm kind of interested to have another show of hands. Where do we think we sit in this? Are we more likely to be, those of you who think pre, put your hands up. No one.
Everyone's
Loan.
using it.
Quite a few with loan. Adopt.
Majority.
Okay. Instruct. Smattering. And enhance. Anyone think we're at enhanced stage? No. Okay, well there you go. So, let's see, shall we? Oh, you can read that. Can people read that? It's quite small. We were a bit worried that no one could read that. So this is from the non-MadFest audience. As you can see, 3 of them. Adopt, loan and pre. So you were quite right, really. As kind of expected, nobody who filled in the questionnaire, the audit, put down or the results showed that they were at instruct or enhanced stage, unsurprising. But the majority of people, as you can see, were either loan or pre. So basically what this really, as Becky's already said, what this says is that A, don't really know where to start, or we have a few tools that we know about, but we're not really sure how to put them in place. And actually what we don't know is how to report them, basically. And then 25% of us are adopt. So this is the kind of the business-wide governance and training are in it, but it's just started to be implemented across the thing. So that's the non-MadFest audience. This is just us as a MadFest audience. So as you can see, not massively dissimilar. So obviously we're hearing a lot, obviously we're at the AI and emerging tech stage, you're going to get a lot of pro AI usage, but actually only under 10% were actually at instruct stage. So less, actually, I mean, you called it, not many people put their hands up. So, but again, similarly, the big chunk of people were at the kind of the pre and adopt stage. So again, regular company-wide, AI forms part of those meetings. But again, the majority of people there, a few teams playing around with it, kind of no real coherent strategy and definitely no real leadership across the business, basically. That's all very well, but what does that mean? If you were here yesterday, you would have heard a lot of one of the panel sessions that we've heard a lot about the kind of the risks from an ethical point of view. We've heard a lot about the kind of the governance point of view. But actually, going back to what we were talking about, the biggest risk is that there's going to be a widening gap between those that are sort of the kind of the lone raider stage and those that aren't. So actually, when you think about creative efficiency, actually that gap is widening, basically. But again, this is unsurprising, and this is a conversation. I've had conversations yesterday and today where, speaking with you guys, this is what sort of really what the kind of the vibe is. And this is, again, outside of MadFest, these sort of conversations. Wouldn't it be nice if we could just understand where we are, where we're playing, and kind of how to get to that next level, which I guess is the reason why we're here and why we're doing what we're doing. So that makes sense. But just a couple of other slides to sort of finish this off, really. Some of you may have seen this. This was a Slack report recently. Talks about how marketing we're really early adopters. Well, obviously we are really early adopters, but we are still really at those early stages. But the good news is that another study by BCG, you may have heard of them, I think, again, one of the kind of talks yesterday talked about, the C-suite not being involved and not really sort of caring, but actually, according to BCG, that is changing. So, and again, going back to that bit that Becky talked about, which is, it's not just about production and content, it's behind the scenes, it's everything else you can do. this is a big kind of focus of really through the marketing organisations, from personalisation right down to kind of how teams work together. You know, there's quick wins are the content creation, but actually there's lots of future operations, insight generation, all that kind of stuff. Again, some of you may be using sort of various different tools for that, but there's lots to do, lots to get excited about. And more importantly, there is CMO putting budget towards it as well. So it's all nice and rosy, but again, we are at that stage where if we don't do anything about it now, we'll all go off as lone riders and it won't be kind of implemented from an organisational level, basically.
We are winning on time, people. So we're just going to make you stare at a QR code for about 4 minutes, 30 seconds. No, that's the AI audit. If you want to get involved, and you can drop your details. We will be doing a report from the, I say we, royal we, will be doing a report from the findings of the audit that we will supply at a suitable date when we've managed to finish this and probably. So there's a contact form there that you can drop it into. There's no contact details required if you don't want the report, so there's no pressure. It's just having a play and finding out where you sit, again, and a reminder of that AI landscape. You heard about us. We gave you, hopefully, a bit of a path for progress with AI, with the AI maturity level. We heard that actually most people in this room and most marketeers don't actually know where to start. They're in that camp that was reflected here. The majority were still in that Lone Riders, Lone Rangers, whatever, pick your own title, version of that. All very early adopters. And basically, I promised you that big reveal. The big reveal isn't that big. It's just me saying, this is moving so quickly. We mentioned at the start that about moving from overwhelm to opportunity. The overwhelm is not going to continue. The benefit of the overwhelm and the constant flow of new information means it's a still evolving situation, that you're not behind the curve. By even being at this event and in this room, you have identified it being the top 3% UK-wide in AI knowledge. So you can take that home and tell your parents. But yeah, so our imploring is basically start exploring, which lots of you already are, start implementing as lots of you are, but as a team. Shift it from lone riders to sort of that adoption phase, bring it up into team adoption level, because that's the place where you really start to benefit from the learnings. That's the place that you stop this gap between the AI-verse and the AI adventurers. That's where the real benefits are going to be made. So hopefully, we've taken a few moments to help make it plain for you guys, and we're there if you need us.
And we've given Alex 2 minutes, 25 seconds back.
These guys, come on!